A very good morning to one and all, and welcome to the webinar on data-driven business intelligence conducted by the Shanthigiri Institute of Management in association with the Commerce Department, Anthony's College, Shillong. About Shanthigiri Institute of Management, it is a vision of the CMI fathers, Kamal Province, Muvatupura, to provide development-oriented and value-based higher education. Rooted in the rich heritage of our land, drawing inspiration from St. Kuriakose alias Chavara, this educational institution concentrates on the overall formation and progressive growth of its students. Likewise, St. Anthony's College is a Salesian institution founded by Reverend Father Joseph Bakirello. It is the first ever university college worldwide of the Don Bosco Society, which was established back in the 1934, affiliated to the Northeastern Hill University. The college caters to the psychological and ethical well-being of the students through value education that provides the students with life skills. In the rapidly changing business world, it is crucial to shape and equip the young minds to acquire the required competencies to stay ahead. We all know we are in the middle of an extraordinary situation emerging out of the global pandemic COVID-19. With the impact of COVID-19, everything has come to an abrupt halt, and the academic world is not an exception. Because of the forced closure of the educational institutions, the entire education system is being badly disturbed. In this type of situation, e-learning has emerged as a powerful option. As emerging job aspirants, we need to take a close analysis on the change that is happening on the economy, and for that, we truly rely on the advices and opinions given by the veterans in the market. And today, we're very proud and privileged to have an eminent personality, Mr. Abdul Karim MA, software engineer, JP Morgan Chase & Company, as our chief guest of the day. We're all very excited to listen to his words and views on the topic, data-driven business intelligence. Now, to invoke the blessings of Almighty, I invite Ms. Krishna Jeevan for the prayer song.
Kindly light, amid encircling gloom, lead me, oh. The night is dark, and I am far from home. Lead me, oh. Keep though my feet, I do not trust to see the distant sea. One step enough for me. Lead, kindly light, amid encircling gloom, lead me, oh.
Now, to welcome the gathering, may I invite Reverend Father Dr. Bobby Anthony, CMI, Principal of Shanthigiri Institute of Management. Father, please.
Respected resource person for the day, Mr. Abdul Karim MA, Reverend Father Paul Parakatil, Principal, Shanthigiri College of Computer Sciences, Brother Albert SBB, Principal, St. Anthony's College, Shillong, Dr. Satya, HOD, faculty members and dear students of our partner institute, St. Anthony's College, Shillong, faculty members and student participants from various other colleges, industry and corporate participants, and my dear faculty members and students from SANTHIGIRI Institute of Management. A warm good morning to all of you. COVID-19 has brought tremendous changes in all the fields of life, and education is no more an exception. During this pandemic period, we witnessed a rapid growth in the usage of technology. There was a reluctancy and mental block for many to use information and communication technology called ICT for business and education. But COVID-19 cleansed that blocks. Today, more than 90% of the people and business all over the world are connected through ICT directly or indirectly. And the studies prove 70% of the jobs and business which we see today will be replaced with artificial intelligence and machine learning. In this technology-driven business environment, data will play a vital role. Data will be considered as the greatest asset, and the companies which have control over maximum amount of data will have monopoly. We believe this webinar titled Data-Driven Business Intelligence will help us to understand the changing business models in today's world and how data plays a vital role in the business prediction, decision making, and ultimately in business intelligence. SANTHIGIRI Institute of Management is a leading business school in Kerala managed by CMI fathers. The vision of our institute is awakening to the future. Here, we awaken our MBA graduates to meet the challenges of tomorrow. We believe knowledge shared is knowledge squared. We have conducted a series of webinars during this pandemic situation as part of Industry Institute Interface, the III program, partnering with various institutions and corporates all over India. Today, for this webinar, we are fortunate to collaborate with JP Morgan Chase and Company. JP Morgan Chase and Company is an American multinational investment bank and financial services company headquartered in New York City. JP Morgan Chase is ranked by S&P Global as the largest bank in the United States and the 7th largest bank in the world by total assets of 3.2 trillion US dollars. We have Mr. Abdul Karim MA, a senior software engineer and data analyst representing JP Morgan Company. And Mr. Karim also serves as an adjunct faculty at Christ University, Bangalore, and a visiting faculty at SANTHIGIRI Business School. Dear Mr. Abdul Karim, I extend you a most cordial welcome to this webinar. This webinar is organized by SANTHIGIRI Institute of Management in collaboration with St. Anthony's College, Shillong. Dear Reverend Brother Principal, Head of the Department of Commerce, and all the faculty members and students of St. Anthony's College, I extend you a warm welcome to this webinar. I also extend a cordial welcome to all the faculty members, students, and participants from various colleges and corporates. Welcome to all of you and wishing you a fruitful day. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the most awaited moment of today's session, and let me take a few minutes to introduce the keynote speaker of the day. Mr. Abdul Karim MA is a programmer and UI designer with more than 7 years of industry experience, working as the lead software engineer at JP Morgan Chase & Company. When it comes to his educational qualification, he completed his Master of Computer Application from Christ University, Bangalore, and Bachelor of Computer Application in Application Development from Mangalore University. He visits colleges and universities out of passion to help the students in connecting with the technology and the bigger world. He has designed his own curriculum covering a spectrum of topics, which includes data and business analytics, career and placements, technology and logical development, and design thinking. He is also an active visiting faculty of Christ University, Bangalore, and teaches data and business analytics. He has conducted several workshops and is also a stand-up comedian. Ladies and gentlemen, it's with great pleasure I invite Mr. Abdul Karim MA for this session. Welcome, sir, and the platform is all yours.
Thank you so much. First, I'd like to make sure that you guys can hear me. If somebody can give a thumbs up, I'll go ahead. Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure of mine to be here to talk to so many students from different background, people from corporate, people from different colleges. The pleasure is mine. And within the limited period of time, I would like to give a brief intro, a very brief intro of what is data is and how it is related to business intelligence. This is one topic we're going to deal now. Okay. And I would like to make sure that from today, you will see these data in a different perspective, different dimension. That's what my end goal is for today's workshop or today's webinar. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Let me know once you're able to see. Yeah, I think the screen is visible now. Let me go into the presentation mode. Perfect. Okay. So data-driven business.
Mr. Karim, we are not able to see your screen. Yeah, it's visible now. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Right. Thank you for the confirmation. We are emphasizing on two different parts today. Okay, one is data, and second one is intelligence with regard to business intelligence. Okay, that's why I colored into two different aspects: data and business intelligence. Okay, now the most important thing is everyone know the term business. All right, you know business, and you know how business is conducted from traditional way, the new way, the futuristic way. Business, you know what is business. Now my target is to how to relate data to it and how do you relate intelligence to it. All right, so let me focus more on my first point, that is what you mean by business intelligence. All right, so let's focus on this particular term, which is business intelligence. And as per the definition given by many people, it just says that it's a way of transforming data into insights. Okay, so you need to house data. I'll explain what kind of data you'll have it, but this business intelligence is a process. Okay, it's a process, or it's a facility, or it's a kind of methodology which works or aims to transform data into actionable insights. Okay, insight means you're going to explore more from something. And why you need to do that? You need to use this in your business decision. So that's what the end game is. Okay, so business intelligence is not a new word, even though the people say business intelligence, artificial intelligence, these words seriously, but these are not new, guys. These are their market from a couple of years now. And now business intelligence, people who are from commerce background, you might be hear the term called decision support system. What is decision support system? Say that I have a business, say that I am running a small business and I have to make a decision of whether to buy raw materials or not. Okay. And I use some of the support, help from someone or something based on their experience or based on the past data. Okay, that is what decision support systems are. Okay, and these are in exist from what 1950s. Okay, now as business evolved, as there were more data started getting to create in the business, people termed the coin like, why don't we use this data to explore and find insights that can help us in business decisions. Okay, now why a business should do that? Like you might have, like, take any company or any domain or any field. Okay, why a company actually should do business intelligence? Do they need to have somebody forcing them, or are they really need to do it? Like, why they need to do it? Now if you go and ask any company or just Google about any company, most of the companies who are MNCs or even startup, they actually invest in business intelligence. All right, business intelligence is not like one day you start it. Okay? It's actually knows a lot of cost around it, a lot of expertise around it, but people actually started investing money to it. Why they do it? There are different reasons to it. One is to stay competitive in the market, okay, to stay futuristic in the market. Okay, how do I do that? For example, let me tell you an example. Okay, you know a company called Kodak, right? Kodak was a camera company. They used to produce camera reels and all. But what happened to them? They were the big leaders of, say, maybe in the 90s or 95s or 2000. But where are they now? What happened to them? Okay, what potentially would have happened to them? Maybe they failed to forecast the future. Maybe they failed to use their business data to see what actually customer likes in the future. That's why other companies, say Nikon or Canon, came into market and they started performing well, right? So it's important, business, any business, a small case or large case or very large case, they identify that it's important for them to understand what's happening around their business, or say around their organization, and see how they can use that information for future for say future marketing, future HR planning, future production line, whatever it is. Okay, so now there is an urgency. Now there is importance for the people to invest in business intelligence. That's why any company you say, they will look for people who are good with business intelligence tool, people who are good with business analytics, people who are good with data analytics, right? These are all different field, but closely related to together. All right. Now you might, when I would say that you went to YouTube and you're searching for some video, the first ad might be coming to you is like, say, some data science course offered by some university. Why people are so much focusing on data science? Why people are started focusing on business analytics? Because there is a need in the organization that they spend on it. Okay, so there is a lot of opportunity, there's a lot of scope, there's a lot of say this is the future, right? This is there from a couple of years, and this is actually kind of booming, and this is very much futuristic. So that's why I'm telling, there is a need in the organizations of any size, of any say cluster, small or big, or chain market, is food, is hospitality, anything, name anything, right? They need someone who can transform their data into meaningful thing. I'll give some very light examples of how you can convert one line of information into a meaningful insights. Okay, so that you get to know the parameter of how a large amount of data can be converted. Okay, so this is what business intelligence are. Now let me show you. You people call it BI. Okay, so the need of it is to provide people relevant and reliable information to the right people at the right time. Okay, it's not like you have the information, it's not reaching the management. Okay, or it should be in a such a way that, okay, you have some people who find this, explore this insight, and put it in a very nice way, chart, visualization, and give to the management who are actually like to look into it at the right time, so that they can use that chart, they can use that visualization for their business decisions. Okay, I'll give some real case examples. Now, yeah, that's what it is. It's for the better decisions. Let me show you one more thing. Yeah. So this is what business intelligence some of the things that related to business intelligence and some of the things you already heard about, and you must be starting to hear a term called data science a lot, and you must be people asking or telling a lot of about like what is machine learning, people talking about robotics, people talking about analytics, people talking about neural networks, okay, people talking about different things related to data science. Okay, now business intelligence is we see the right side of it is all about data. If there is no data, there is no analytics, there is no intelligence. So the first thing is that you should have data. And every business, if you know or you don't know, you generate a lot of information on a daily basis. For example, think that you are owning a small outlet of a milk shop. Okay, what all day potential data you can have? You can have daily milk inventory, you can have the sale for the day, you can what purchases you bought, your expenses, and this is all actually data for you. Now it's up to you whether you want to tire and throw this data, or up to you whether you can use this data for something good. Okay, for example, say that you have sale data for today. Okay, and you have sale data for yesterday also. Yesterday say that you sold around 20 liters of milk, and today you sold around 30 liter. And you say that if that kind of 10 days of data can help you to predict how much milk can be sold tomorrow, it's good for you, so that you can plan buying on yourself, you can plan your time, right? So that's what business intelligence, having data converted into meaningful insights to help your business, is intelligence. Okay, now there are a lot of tools which can be used. I'll show you some of that. Okay, so if you see the right side of it, is all about having the data, data sources where the collection of data is stored. And there are different terms. Okay, like once you have the data stored in some places, data warehouse, we use some technique called mining to take a common matter mine to take the good data from it. You clean the data, right? You process the good data. Like if your business is having so much data, it's not like you take all of it, you take only the needed one. Then ETL, it's ETL. It's very industry term. Okay, it's people who are good with data. They know what is it. They like extraction, transformation, and loading of data. And OLAP is another mechanism of storing data in a history. It's called online analytical processing, and then real reporting, and that can be used for your decision making. And it can be even used for predictive analytics. You forecasting. You basically do predict the future, right? So these are all some of the things that is related to business intelligence. Now, if you want to learn, or if you want to start a career in business intelligence, where do you start? Okay, so where do you start is first you understand or pick a domain. For a learning point of view, I'm telling you, okay, pick a domain. Say that, okay, I want to know what is the scope of learning business intelligence in uh, hospitality field. Okay, so I'll pick that hospitality domain. I'll see, okay, what is the potential data that revolves around the hospitality? Okay, and then I'll use the data. Okay, I'll store in some Excel sheet, or if the data is so big, you must have heard the term something called big data and all. Everyone say big data and all. Has somebody seen the big data, right? This big data is a term people say for anything, big data. But what is really big data? It is not. It is like huge in size. It's not just huge in size. It is also a variety of data coming to you. Data coming in comma separated values, data coming in databases, data coming from social media, data coming from like our conversation, talking, data coming from somebody sent an email. This is all combined together, structured, unstructured. I'll show you some pictures related to that. If the data size is not in MB, not in GB, if it is more than that, you know, the GB, MB, GB, then TB, then the petabyte, hectabyte, octabyte, zettabyte. There's so many categories that people say that 1 petabyte of data, that is so much of data, right? So that's what when you use the term big data and all. So it's not about having it's not about whether you have big data or you have very small chunk of data. It's about with the available data, how I can use or get some meaning. That's what intelligence refers to. The more data you have, the more work you need to do to get meaning. The less data you have less work, but the output may not be sufficient for your decision making. So the both way, it's a good and bad is there, right? So this is overall something related to intelligence. If you just Google, you might get the same picture. You might get pictures around some more or content added to it, right? Now let me, so this is what the term business intelligence overall refer to. Now let me tell you what is data is relevance to it. Okay, now you know kind of getting an idea about what data is, right? Now I'll tell you with the story. Okay, data storytelling. Now it says it's all about data. It's all right. If there is no data, there is no intelligence. I mean, you cannot perform anything. Okay. If you want to do some analytics, you start with data. You start with understanding the data. Okay. So if you ask me, I want to establish a caliber or career in business intelligence or analytics field. Where do you start? I will say you start getting some sample data using a simple tool like Excel. Okay, and then convert this data into some charts and see what you can see. Do you see any hidden meaning to it, whether you can give this one to someone so they can make use of the data? So that will you start with. Okay, now here you see a number 120 120 12. This is the data, but what data is it? It is meaningless, right? Without a context, I don't know what is it. So there is always a lot of data is there, but without a context, it is meaningless. So this is 120 120 12. It can be a number, it can be anything. Let me provide a context to it. Okay. Now I gave a context here saying that it's a date of birth. Now I can read it. It can be okay. It's 12/01/2012. It's a date of birth of someone. Okay. I now when I give a context to it, I get a better meaning of the data. You getting it? Now, you might have know a sequence called data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. This is a sequence, okay? Now, this is a data, okay? What is information? It can be like, okay, whose date of birth is this? Okay, I'll say there's a person called Asha. This is Asha's date of birth. That becomes kind of information. Wow, more data. Now I'll say, okay, now I want to go up to the knowledge level. Okay, now say that okay, I know the date of birth. I know what is his age now. Okay, based on the name, I know it's a male or female. Now, based on the age, I can even guess what that person may be up to now, is studying or is working. So this is like you are exploring more just with a small context of data, right? Just one number, now so much of information you are getting. Now imagine you having some 1,000 fields. That's a lot of fields. Okay, say 10 fields with 1,000 rows of data. So that imagine the amount of insights you can get from it. Okay. In short, data is nothing but a collection of facts through in organized or unorganized manner. Okay, to make you understand it a bit more clear, I'll show you. Say that if your business has lot of data, okay, sales data, purchase data, inventory data, social media data, user data, that everything. Okay, if the data is not organized, okay, who will organize data? You need to contact people who are expert in the field of data management or data scientists. They will help you to organize your data, store into logical structure, right? Now you see here a library. Okay, consider this to be, sorry for that. Consider this to be consider this to be a data. Okay, all these books are data, and you want to extract a particular data. Okay, now if you go to this library, you will take 4 hours to get a book. Suppose say that I want a book about tax. Okay, something related to tax. Okay, if you go to this library, you'll take 4 hours to find that book. You'll take more time because it's not organized very clear. All right. Now, what happens if your data is not organized? You won't be able to get perform a very good analytics on it to derive some insights. It'll take forever. So it's always good that you actually have very organized data, okay, which you will be doing with the help of someone, okay. And now suppose this is a library. If you go to this library, if I want to pick a book, it's easy for me because see that it's very nicely organized. Labels are there, books are organized based on the size of it, based on the general category of it. It's easy for me. Now think if you organize your data in database or data mart, wherever it is, into a very clustered manner, okay, it's easy for you to take it. Okay, same concept. The well organized data is easy to take the insights and perform your analytics skills. If your data is not organized well, you'll take some more time to organize it first and then understand what and all you can derive it. Okay. Now let's okay, this one let me since it came here, this is some of the fact about 2019 and 2020 social media data. Okay, I'll show you something. Okay, if you use a phone, okay, or if you're Instagram user, okay, data is everywhere. Now, don't think it's just that a business is storing data. You and I'm talking, right? And that's the data. There'll be so much of data. Okay, what happened is that this, I'm not sure the year of it. Okay, so in two people, okay, this happened way back. Okay, I think this is something to do with the Facebook Messenger app, and two people, and they were talking about buying a cat. Okay, and they didn't post in Instagram, they didn't post in Facebook, they didn't post anywhere. Okay, now they were just talking to each other, but they were using smartphone or something. And after 2 days, they realized that when they scroll up in their Instagram or Facebook, they saw some of the ad related to cat food. How Facebook or Instagram came to know that you are trying to buy a cat, right? That is like, so there are some way people are listening to you. Okay, it's not in a bad way, it's a good way. They use it for marketing. You might have seen, right, whenever you use social media, how you get so many ads and how you get relevant ads. Suppose you just went to Flipkart and you just went there and saw some TV. Okay, next day you come to Facebook or any other social media. When you scroll down, there'll be some more option. You want to buy this TV, you want to buy this TV stand. They will ask you how they know it, because they store your browse history. That's data. They store your what and all you with the browser. They store it. Okay, use it for right purpose, and they store your location information with your permission. When you install the application, you might have told hello terms and condition, which you say accept without reading it. That somewhere they would have written, I am tracking you. So if you just Google about the location timeline, it will show you where and all you have been, all the information. So suppose I am going from here to another city, say Bangalore, and the moment I reach, I might get some hotel ads related to Bangalore. That is data, that's marketing, right? So it's not just marketing, any field, people use data, right? And this is the data can be generated in a business like in a tradition way of the core business. It can generate through the user interaction. It can generate from social media. Okay, this is the new trend, right? Social media data, because you just see the screen, right? You see the number of, I can zoom in a bit, okay? You see, for example, Facebook, the difference in 2019 and 20, the login data, right? So every hour, and this is like a rough calculation, it's not even exact, right? So every hour, every second, there's so much of data get generated and get stored. Okay, and people pay money to store this data. You might have heard about data centers. Okay, they get pay, they'll have so many stack of computers storing this data, right? Storage services, people pay for it. And when you have so much data, people invest to get meaning out of it so that they can predict what is next. Okay, for example, you use Netflix, okay, and you saw 2 horror movies. Next day they'll come up with, you know what, this is the 5 more movies you're interested in. How they got to know? Because of your view history, right? You went to you say that you went to Amazon and ordered 2 things. Okay, you ordered say that you ordered some garden related stuff, and next day you will get some more things about house beautification, right? It's everywhere. Okay, now I'll just show you. For example, if you go to your Instagram, right, and if you go to your Instagram and you say your activity and say time, okay, it this there it just shows how much time you guys spend on Instagram. And I'm just telling, like, how did you use? They'll know. Okay, every day 1 hour you're coming to Instagram. That time I have to target you to market something. How do I do that? I know your history of search from different places. I'll use it and push it here, so that ultimately you will click on something, you end up buying on something. Okay, that's an example for how social media data are actually used. Okay, and this is actually this much data is getting generated in 60 seconds. Okay, that's crazy, right? And okay, this is look so much of information anyway. So what is this? So that this is very particular to say that you are running an airplane or air ticket booking site. Okay, now see what all data it generated. It generates data from the, so you can see, read all this, right? It generates data from hotels, government, OTAs, and future reservation. All these are relevant data to this particular site. Okay, frequent flyer information and social media, as how many people are talking about me. All these data are getting stored. So when a simple business like this, or so that as a milk business, get data has of that much of perimeter, it's good to have some kind of insight mechanism and representing this data in a chart or something, so that you get a lot of insight for your business. Okay, now let me one second. Uh, Let me show you a simple example of very simple example of how you can represent data. So, okay, I'm just showing it to you in Excel. Let me know if you're able to see my Excel. Let me stop sharing it for a moment. Yeah, and I'm gonna share again. This is Excel sheet. I'm just showing how you can start with Excel, okay? And I'll also show you some of the very nice and interesting tools available in the market for creating very nice dashboards. All right, so this is a beginning. Okay, if you see my Excel sheet here, I'll just say that this is sales. Okay, sales for 2 years I'm putting. Okay, so let me put. Yeah, I say sales for 2019. Okay, here, sorry, I'll say this is sales information. Okay, 2019 is here, and 2020 is here. All right, this is a header for me. And now I'll just put some amount. Okay, say that this is in rupees. Okay, uh, and think that this is like first month of it in 2019 Jan. Okay, this is second month of it. Okay, I'm not giving an exact representation of it, but a rough estimation. Okay, this is Feb, and this is some other month, March. Okay, now with that I have actually 2019 for 3 months and 2020 for 3 months, a first quarter. Now what I'll do is I'll just select this and I'll say, so now by seeing this, it doesn't look very nice, right? So what I can do is I can actually insert the month here and say this is Jan, this is Feb, and this is March. All right. So by saying that it is good. Okay, but always they say that whenever you can represent the data, represent it in a beautiful manner, so that people get more interested towards it. Okay, so let me try to draw a very simple chart here. Insert. Okay. And you can just quickly click recommended charts. So Excel will provide you some recommendation, right? And it showed me, okay, I'm going to use a line chart. All right. Perfect. So if you see my screen now, you will have a chart generated here, right? And see now, instead of seeing the data in table, it's good for me to see the data I liked in a very nice chart. Okay, this is an Excel chart, so it won't be that good looking. Okay, see that now it'll be clear. See the difference in okay, by seeing the data, I'm getting more information. You know what happened in January? I can just see that what happened. There is no much sales happened. Okay, Feb, okay, relatively good, but looking into it, we are not doing good in 2020. Okay, that's what the chart shows. But slowly we're capturing up, but it's not enough. That's what this particular chart is telling us based on data, right? So that's I'm telling, right? Where the moment you start put your data into a very good tools. Okay, Excel is a starting base. Okay, it's always good for, suppose say that I give this report to the people who are concerned. Okay, management, they'll see the report, they'll be like, wow, okay, there is nothing happening in 2020, right? So that's I'm telling, the moment you start using representations, a visualization of your data, that's when you actually enjoy the power of having control on your decision making. Okay, now this is one 3-day data I have represented in Excel. Imagine if you actually have a very good domain data and you use some of the potential skills of representing to it. Okay, that now you can do two things. One is you just take the data and represent it. Okay, that is easy one. Second thing is that you take the data and you perform some analytics on it. Okay, that means you need to gain one more skill level called analytics. Okay, and you give that forecasting regression output of that future output to people. They'll be like, okay, tomorrow is going to be like this. Okay, so I can plan my business. Okay, so that's what I'm telling. It's always good when you start picturizing the data. Okay, now if you ask me, since there is a time constraint, right, I'm just trying to cover most of the aspect. Okay, now if you ask me, if you are from a commerce background, okay, and you want to start a career in business intelligence, okay, now I'll tell you, you start with Excel. Okay, start with Excel to understand data. Start about using this chart, and then start using what is that? Pure tables, all this, and then slowly understand what are the very good tools available in the market. Okay, so there are so many tools available in market. Okay, you heard the name called Tableau? Tableau is one of the leaders in this visualization. Okay, they can represent chart very well. Let me show you a Tableau sample. Okay, I'm not going to show you how it is created. I'll just show a sales data of Tableau in my screen. Okay, this is a profitability for 2 years. Okay, some sample data. Okay, Tableau you can install in your computer, and slowly you can are you guys able to see my Tableau screen?
Not it.
Give a second, it will come on a screen. Okay, meanwhile it comes, right? So there is, I think if it's coming, you can just see
it's
in this.
visible now. It's visible now.
Cool, thank you. So you might be saying like, okay, there are so many things in the chart. Okay, so now what is this? To understand, you might need to go and understand Tableau. But you see, right, the way things are represented. This shows, okay, there's some up and downs with the monthly sales of consumers, monthly sales from the corporate, and geographically represented. There's so many things. Okay, and these things are pretty interesting to learn. Okay, the moment you start understanding data, the moment you start put data into pictures, right, that's when the beauty starts, right? That's when you start understanding or the power of having data visualized. Okay, so that people like to see it and people like to use that insight for their decision making. So Tableau is one, and there are so many free ones. Okay, you can start something called as Google Analytics. Say that you have a website. Okay, you want to see how many people are coming to it and see all those kind of analytics. You can use Google Analytics. Just Google Analytics, create a sample of free account, and they will give you all the step-by-step introduction to how to go about it, and they'll also show you the traffic about the website. There are tools like Cognos from IBM. These are maybe paid tools. You won't be having it easily. There are tools like Looker, and there is tool like Power BI is from Microsoft, and these are also widely used in the industry. So I'm telling, if you want to start a career in the business intelligence field, if you want to become a management guy who are in decision making, and you want to learn these tools, it will be a very good add-on to your profession. So if you're someone from a very computer background, okay, and if you want to create these kind of charts, then I'll tell you, you start learning about data analytics. Okay, so two different things. One, you become the consumer of the chart. One, you become the producer of the chart. Okay, if you are good with computers, if you're good with programming, then you learn Python, you learn R, you learn Excel, you learn SPSS. These tools to create these kind of insight from data. Okay, so you have to manage the data, you have to manage the data organization, you have to clean the data, you have to create the chart. And what will happen, the people from management, whatever you created, they will see that output. Okay, now the people from management, you're not bothered about how it is created, you're bothered about what I can see from this chart. Okay, what is the trend I can see? That's what you are bothered about, right? So these kind of dashboards are pretty useful. Okay, and there's a term called KPI, right? Key performance indicators. And if you see on top of this, right, so this is all key performance indicator of this dashboard. So there are beautiful dashboard. This Google dashboard, you will see some of very nicely ones are there. It's just created by using tools like Tableau, tools like ClickView, tools like Excel itself. Okay, Excel is widely used. Okay, if you're a small business, if your data is not large enough, you go start with Excel. Excel has pretty very useful visualization skill, and it can perform data analytics as well. Okay, and what else? ClickView is there, Cognos is there, Looker is there, Google Analytics is there, there's Sysyn is there. So many are there. Okay, if you Google, you'll find a lot of these kind of tools. Okay, but some of them may not be free. Or Tableau, or this one, what I installed in my personal laptop, and this is like a trial version for 13 days, but you can pay and buy one. All right, it's very useful if you want to build a career towards that. And let me bring back my original slide. Can somebody tell me how much time I'm left with?
So 15 minutes. 15
Okay,
minutes.
perfect. Yeah. Okay, I am back to the presentation where we left with. So what I'm telling is that data is there everywhere. Okay, you just think around yourself. Okay, so that maybe you have a family business. Okay, and think what all they carry it. Okay, maybe it's account information or account journals. Okay, or all this can be beautifully depicted into a picture so that they get more say that insights about the data. That's what I'm trying to emphasize on. You try getting things on the visualized manner, all right, instead of having a plain table kind of record. Okay, and I am sharing my screen. Yeah, the screen is up, I guess. Yeah, 1 second. Okay, perfect. So now let me, let me go back and show you one more thing with regard to data visualization. Okay, and that will give a bit more idea about it. Okay, the second part of storytelling here. Okay, now what it tells that, okay, now when you represent data in chart and maps, it becomes easier to read. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's do with an example. Okay, first I will put a sentence. Okay, the sentence says that this just telling that some about Twitter data, about 58%. Okay, just telling that about 58% of the top brands in the world have over what is it 1 lakh Twitter follower. Okay, now this is a plain information. Okay, and we are trying to see how well we can visualize it. Okay, so that is first sentence. Now let's emphasize on data points when you represent. So what happened, I emphasize more on 58. Okay, the 58 is highlighting so that I get to know, okay, I need to focus on that 58 than the words more. Okay, now let's see, let's try to visualize it a bit more. Okay, so I'll go for visualize. Okay, visual. And now see, I added a Twitter logo to it. Now by just using this and this, I'm getting, okay, this is something about Twitter. Okay, it's this, that 1 lakh followers for all. So just with that one point data, if you start using easy visualizations, okay, the meaning of the data becomes more clear to you. Okay, if you want a more example is here. Yeah, you read this. This is the reason why everyone going to that. It takes humans about 6 seconds to read and 20 to 25 words, but only 1/4 of the time to process a visual. Okay, now for example, you see a chart here, right? So that this is chart which represents the sale of 3 different months. If it is in paper, it will take more time me to understand. But when it comes to the chart, it will take very less to for me to understand. That's what I'm telling. Like, if everything in business intelligence is data driven, okay, you have data, you already have the data. It's just about how I take the data and put into a picture so that I can make it more meaningful, and this meaningful insight can help my business. Okay, so that is what the thing is. Now let me show you another thing. Yeah, now this is recently, I think you all read newspaper, right? Now if you open the newspaper pages, they also started putting these kind of charts. No, that's not current papers. So if you see this one, right, this is 2012 election data. Okay, before that people used to write things. Okay, this is data points end of the day. Okay, now you see they started putting charts, some graph around it. Okay, why? Because they know it's people just straight look into that, not into the content mode, just look at the chart because easy to grab. Okay, now again here, okay, some unemployment data. If people explain this, it will take a lot of time, but you see it's just matter of say that okay they can explain it more. And again there's some recent data of some election, and you see keep up indicators and datas in different visualization tool, right? So there are now if you want to ask me like what are the different data points are there, I told you already there are social media data, transactional data, historical data, user interaction, all this. Okay, now you ask me what is the best way to represent each of it. Then you need to understand what is it, the measures of those data. Okay, for example, let me show from here only. Okay, this is a number. Okay, and it sometimes it's good to represent numbers in bar chart or pie chart. Okay, so sometimes it's good to represent say if you have an aggregation, it's good to represent in a pie chart. If you have counts and all, it's good to represent bar chart. So your next learning will be like what is best for me to represent a particular data. Okay, if you are representing a forecasting of future, then it's good for if you can represent in line chart. Okay, if you have some trend comparison, then also you can do multi-line. So it then when you start studying about visualization, one part you will understand how do I represent my data better. Okay, it's not like you just use any chart for it, you use the right chart. Okay, it's not just about a chart, you use the right colors. Okay, and these things are actually very potential because having right data and having a right tools to represent is the key for your business intelligence. Okay, now I just want to make sure that I give a heads up with how business intelligence related to other field. Okay, people who are hear the term artificial intelligence or machine learning. Okay, business intelligence kind of touching here and there everywhere. Right now it's also intelligence, that's also intelligence. Right now why I'm touching, for example, if you know the terms like learning by example, learning by experience. Okay, this all machine learning time, machine learning terms, right? So people trying to bring some of the machine learning or some of the learning mechanism, building own models in business analytics so that they can stay ahead. That is what people are trying to do now. Okay, they are not just representing data, they are trying to process the data, they're trying to apply some analytics to it to make sure that they have better insight from others. Okay, and there are so many companies, basically startups actually started doing this analytics things. Okay, if you say that you are running a company, well, you won't be having facilities and services and tools to do your own analysis, so you outsource to someone. So there are so many companies now recently started and helping you analyze your data, they'll help you to analyze your social media data, all this. So there is scope in this, there is like a lot of scope in this field from the point of using it, from the point of producing it, from point of teaching it, from the point of helping someone to like say involved in this. So this there's a lot of potential in this field, I'm trying to say. Right, and now again now how the combo works, if again I'm telling like if you're very good with computers, okay, and you start with the basic chart analysis, you become someone who analyze data, and then slowly understand how I can bring more analytical tools. All right, if you start learning analytics, you will understand regression, clustering, classification. Then you start understanding machine learning, you will understand, okay, these fields are very complicated in by when if you don't know, but when you start looking to it, it becomes easier for you. Okay, so people who are doing your doctorals and all right in machine learning, make sure that you touch this business intelligence part as well, because it will give a very good potential. That's what people try to see. We try to see the future of the market. Okay, now let me say one more example. Say that you are an umbrella company, okay, and you want to say how much of umbrella I can produce next year. Okay, and in traditional day they just go with a number. Okay, or now what you can do is, okay, you can say how much umbrella I sold this year. Okay, and how much umbrella I sold last year. how much of rain I get that area. Okay, I'm telling about this analytics. Okay, and how many schools are open that area, and if it's COVID, people actually go out or not? Do they really need umbrella or not? So all these constraints you need to consider when you go for producing or manufacturing the umbrella. Okay, so now put this concept into any business. Okay, and then you can realize, okay, now having some analytical, having the right data to it, producing this will really help you, and it will really help in the decision making. Okay, but what else comes along, it brings a lot of cost to it. It's not easy. It's not like you get just to do this analytics. You get to put some what's say budget to it, and you need expertise to it, because if somebody is not really good with analytics and help you do it, then you'll end up using the wrong data, wrong insight for your decision making, which will not help you, right? uh, Now say that you are setting up some home business, and you have the first thing what you do is you do an Instagram page for it. Now you promote that. Okay, and when you promote this guy, Instagram will tell you, okay, these are the insight for your post. This many people are viewed, this many is the reach, this many people have clicked on it, this insight. Okay, so there's a lot of potential, and there's a lot of money involved in this. So what I want to just conclude is that if you want to start a career, start understanding from the data point of view. That's your beginning, and slowly step into the tools that are available, and get some internship, get some expertise advice on this, attend some workshops, right? So I know that this 1 hour will not help you to understand everything of it, but if you really want to start the field, you need to really spend some time on like a 1 day workshop or a weekly workshop on it, so that you get to know the beauty of business intelligence. uh, I think that's all I would like to share today. Thank you so much for having me. I think we are just 5 minutes early, so we can use it for any question answering. Is that good?
Thank you, sir, for your valuable session. For the kind attention of all the YouTube viewers, the feedback link will be shared in the chat box. E-certificates will be provided to only those who fill the form. Now the platform is open for question and answer session. Those who want to ask question, once you click on the participants tab, you will find the hand raise option. Kindly click on that and you will be unmuted accordingly. Those who want to ask any questions can kindly raise their hands so that we'll unmute you.
Mr. Karim, there are a few questions in the chat box. Could you please check and start answering? Sorry, I can read it out.
Yeah, please.
So does data analysis can also be done by artificial intelligence? This is one of the query which is from the audience.
Okay,
Data analysis can be done by artificial intelligence.
Okay, a very good question. Okay, so data analysis can be done by artificial intelligence or not is a question. Okay, let me tell you in a very brief manner. Okay, so data analysis is nothing but you basically a man spend time to analyze the data. Okay, that's what data analysis, using right tools or right analytical measures, everything. Now, if you ask, can I automate this? Can I use some machine to do it? Yes. Definitely yes. Okay, artificial intelligence is nothing but you give intelligence the mission to act like human, right? So it will actually reduce the work of me and it will be more accurate than me. So if you build a system, which is not easy, which if you build a system with some of the artificial intelligence tools, algorithms, or neural networks, or using deep learning, and you automate that process, why not? Artificial intelligence or robotic can do analysis for you. And I guarantee that the system is very good. It will give you, it will actually give you better accurate and it will save your time. So the answer is yes. And that's the future. That's what people are trying to do. That's what really people are trying to do. You need to if you want to go to that, understand machine learning, understand how do people run develop models, and you need to learn the right language or platform or framework for that. When you hear it, it look easier, but when you step into it, it will not that easier, but it's very potential field. I am getting few questions here. Should I answer?
Yes, you can
Yeah.
start on by one. Yeah.
So someone asking Mridin, so is business intelligence the future? Is asking, is the future? I'm telling you, it is started way long back. Okay, it is present and it will be the future. But the future, there'll be new things coming to it. So it's good to start your game now. If you start your game now, so when things advances more and more automated, more robotics, you can actually get in there easily. So yes, if you want to start the career into it, this is the right time to do it. This is 2020, right? You, for example, now we have COVID, and there's site called COVID-19 org India.org, right? Everything, so you see there is graph and presentation, right? That people like it easily. Yes, this is a time. If you want to start the career, this is the right time to do it. And there is one more question from Cynthia. What are the topics to consider as I start to understand study of data? Okay, if you want to start understanding study data, you need to uh, first of all get a basic course or something done with understanding what is entity, what is relationship, what is databases, okay, and get to know some of the entity relationship diagram for some domains. That's the place when you start understanding what and all data a business can have. Okay, just Google entity relationship diagram for hospital, entity relationship diagram for food sector, entity relationship diagram for hospitality. You will get that entity. That's when you understand, okay, these are the data which is relatable. Now, and then just Google about downloading some sample. There are so many sites which provides data sample. Get in Excel. That's a point when you suppose you want to COVID data. There is a site called Ovid data. You can Google it and get the entire COVID data up to date, real time data, and you can start putting some charts to it. That's the place where you start learning. And as I told, right, YouTube has a lot of freely available what to say tutorials. What is business, and just follow one by one. You'll be there easily. One more question I'm getting from Arbin. Can you use our knowledge of statistics? Yes. Okay, I think I forgot to mention. If you want to go for analytics, statistics is the starting point. Okay, data analytics or business analytics is all about applying quantitative, qualitative, descriptive, predictive, prescriptive mechanisms. Okay, what is descriptive? Descriptive is your statistics, measures of central tendency, measures of dispersion, range, IQR, binning, right? This is all you studied in your statistics. If you are a from a statistic background, I'm telling you, I'm suggesting you do some MS in data science, okay, or MS in actuarial science. This will actually help you to you open your career in data science. So statistics is the base if you want to go for data analytics. And I think if you go for that course, they will also teach you from the base of all these topics. But it's good to have statistics as a base. Whatever statistics you know already, make sure that you do it with Excel as a starting point. Then you go with SPSS. Then you go with some other tools, okay, which is potentially used by organizations. That is Arbin Chetri. There's one more question from Ritu Kumari. So can you tell me that we can do analytics side by side our graduation or study from where you can start those students who live remote places? Okay. So let me read it again. You're asking whether you can do analytics side by side. Why not? You can do anything side by side if you have the willingness to do it. Okay. So if you think if you can manage time, then absolutely you can do it. That'll be good. Okay. And so that in your college, right, if you're getting a presentation to do, if you're getting a seminar, if you're getting assignment to do it with this analytics mods so that you also get some exposure to it. And or from where you can start for those students who live in remote places. Okay, if you are from a place where the internet is available, that's good for you. Then if internet is there, if we can connect from different part of the world, you can study from anywhere. So having from remote place will not stop you to learn anything, because you just make sure that you get access to the internet, do some right tutorials in YouTube freely, then make sure you follow some paid tutorials if you want the certifications and all. Yes, you can do side by side for sure. That's the question I'm having here. Did I miss anything? Do you have any more questions? Okay, I think that's the question I received here. If there's anything, please read out. I can answer them. Okay, if no, thank you so much for your time. I really like the session. I really like the question as well. So I hope you get a very brief into not in 1% of it, okay, of the business intelligence. There's one question, can I answer that? I'll take 30 seconds. Okay, do fiber like platform demand for it? The answer is yes. Okay, if I just say that it's a yes, okay, but I can actually help more with an offline conversation. So you can get in touch with me if you want to know more about it. And thank you so much for having me. I will give the hand back to Anita.
I think we've come to an end of the question and answer session. Thank you, sir, for that amazing, valuable session. So the kind attention of all the YouTube viewers, the feedback link will be shared in the chat box. E-certificate will be provided to only those who will fill the form. Thank you. Now it's time to wind up today's event, and so I invite the Assistant Professor of St. Anthony's College, Ms. Andrina S., for the vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Silent gratitude isn't much to anyone. Hence, it's my privilege today to have been asked to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion. I, on behalf of the Department of Commerce in Anthony's College, Shillong, and the SANTHIGIRI Institute of Management, Kerala, and on my own behalf, extend a hearty vote of thanks to all those who have helped in making this webinar a resounding success. At the onset, I would of SANTHIGIRI Institute of Management, Reverend Dr. Bobby Anthony, for his initiative to collaborate this webinar with St. Anthony's College, Shillong. Thank you, sir. I also take this occurrence to thank Dr. Jins George of SANTHIGIRI Institute of Management, Kerala, for his effort for coordinating this program. Sir, we truly appreciate your logistical support and guidance throughout. We are fortunate to have a renowned identity from the IT field as our resource person and also chief guest for this morning. I extend my generous thanks to Mr. Abdul Karim MA, software engineer from JP Morgan Chase and Company, and adjunct faculty Christ, deemed to be University Bangalore, for his exemplary and enlightening coverage on the topic. Sir, I am confident that you have achieved your goal for this morning, as we definitely have a very different outlook towards data and its significance in decision-making and intelligence. Thank you. A heartfelt thanks to Reverend Dr. Brother Albert Longley Dakar, Principal St. Anthony's College, and the management of the college for the continued support and encouragement to the department. Special thanks goes to Professor K.K. Elizabeth, former head of department, Department of Commerce, St. Edmund's College, Shillong, with her appreciating ideas, I mentioned my sincere sense of gratitude to her. I extend my heartiest gratitude to our head of department, Dr. Y. Satya, for her direction and support throughout the program in making this collaboration a success. I would not complete my task if I forget to thank our wonderful anchor for the day, Anita, for escorting us into this webinar with her very warm smile and welcoming kind words. Thank you so much, Anita. I would like to thank all the staffs of both institutes, SANTHIGIRI Institute of Management and the Department of Commerce, St. Anthony's College, for the involvement and enormous cooperation in planning and organizing this webinar. Last but definitely not the least, I would like to thank all the participants, particularly our students who have turned up in good number and whose participation has been overwhelmingly encouraging. Once again, I thank you all for your cordial cooperation and contributions. Great day ahead, evermore better ever.
Thank you, ma'am, for your generous words. We would like to extend our sincere gratitude to the St. Anthony's College and the Commerce Department HOD, Dr. Y. Satya, ma'am, on behalf of the entire Shanthigiri family for your support. Thank you, ma'am. The meeting is dispersed. You all may leave. Thank you and have a nice day.